This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese. I'm in my home in Brighton, and I have the pleasure of interviewing Graham Russell. We met in very unusual circumstances, didn't we, Graham? How many years ago do you think?
Oh my goodness. I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years?
Yes. How did we meet? Remind me.
Well, you chatted me up on a bus. It was late. I was going to a friend's birthday party, and I was wearing a Prada bag, and you asked me if it was real Prada.
It was very smart. It was brown leather.
Yeah, a very smart bag.
And was it real Prada?
Well, I explained that the man in Istanbul markets.
Oh, then it was. Obviously not Prada.
But it was a very good copy.
Anyway,
yeah.
We've always been in touch ever since.
That's right.
And you, in fact, are a life coach. You've got a company called Sapere, isn't it?
That's right, Sapere Coaching, yes.
Which is unusual because Sapere is Italian for to know.
To know.
Now,
That's
what
right.
do you mean by to know?
So I used...
Why did you choose Sapere?
I chose Sapere because it is that inner knowing. The inner knowing that we all have, that there's something that we might want to do in life or something that we might want to achieve. So it's really getting in touch with that inner knowing and acting on that. Because so often in life, we have kind of dreams that we want to do, but we just never take the effort to accomplish them.
Well, we should. I always advise people to follow their dream. And in actual fact, you are, as we speak, following your dream. Now, tell me what your dream was.
Well, yeah, my life's sort of come around full circle. So I used to work in... Well, so I used to work in hotels, in hotel management. And then...
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was kind of my first... Okay, let's go back to the beginning. So when I was at school, I wanted to be an actor. That's
Right.
really what I wanted to do. But I was good at maths, so my career advisor said I should go into banking, which for me was like the worst,
9 to 5.
the worst thing ever. And my parents were always very supportive, and then they took me to a career... I'm not sure what you call
Career
them.
guidance.
Sort of a career guidance thing in London, which they paid for. It was a day of doing some sort of aptitude tests and everything. And they said I could go into theatre management or hotel management. Well, theatre management felt a bit too near acting, and I thought I'd be a bit frustrated. So I thought, let's have a go at hotel management. So I went to college, trained, and I did hotel management.
What year would this be?
Oh my goodness me, I'm no good with years.
Roughly.
So
The decade, I meant.
the decade. So I would have been in hotel management. So I would have been sort of I suppose about 18, 19 then.
70s.
So yeah, so 60, 70, yeah, sort of early 80s. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so I travelled around, came back to London, hotel management, and then I kind of really wanted to get into drama. I wanted to get back into theatre or television, or that was my dream. I really wanted to get into that. And a friend of mine who I was at college with doing hotel management was working at the Sherlock Holmes Hotel in Baker Street in London.
Uh-huh.
And she said to me, come along next Sunday, because they have this psychic fair. And she said, it's really good. And I said, no way. I said, that kind of scares me, all that sort of stuff. I said, that would freak me out. But she kept on and on. So I went along, and I had a reading with this lady. I can't remember what her name was. And she said, can I take your ring? So I gave her my ring. And just as I gave it to her, I went completely hot. I went so hot, I was dripping sweat. I can remember the sweat just dripping down my back.
Good God.
And she said, you're going to go to college, you're going to go to drama college, you're going to go for 3 years, and you're going to be working with the scenery and sets and stuff. And I said to her, that's not going to happen because I've been to college, I've had a grant. And she said, don't put obstacles in your way. I always remember her saying that, don't put obstacles in your way. And I was so inspired by that because I had such a physical reaction. I literally then started applying to drama colleges. And
That's called psychometry, when you
Psychometry, I think it is called
Yes,
psychometry.
when you pick a ring or an object. And in fact, that's really weird because you've recently gone to another psychic all those years later.
Yeah. Well, what was interesting about the first one was that she said it would be a 3-year course.
Right.
All the drama colleges were all 2-year courses except for one, which was a 3-year course. And that's the one that I could get support to go to, interestingly. So I did it. So she was right. And then, so then I went into theatre and worked in theatre in London. And then from theatre in London, I went into TV and I worked on Brookside and Hollyoaks, EastEnders, The Bill, lots of dramas, TVs and stuff as an art director doing set design and working, in that thing. So, and then...
How many years were you involved in?
I was involved in that for about 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
Now, why did you stop?
I got to a point, I kind of loved it, and there was something inside that was kind of niggling away at me, that there was something more to life, there's something more that I needed to do, and I didn't know what it was. I was just feeling restless, and I didn't know why I was restless, but I was restless, and I knew I just didn't want to do what I was doing for much longer. I was away from home so much because I was on locations. I lived in Liverpool for a long time. I was in London.
But in the UK?
In the UK, yeah.
Well, how did you get involved? Because you're also an air steward. How did you get involved with that?
Well, I love travel.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore
who
travel.
Doesn't? Yes.
Yeah, and I was coming back on holiday with some friends, and I just love the sort of banter that cabin crew have and the teamwork that they have, and I thought this would be quite fun to do. And literally, I just did a search one Sunday evening, and just for cabin crew, any jobs for cabin crew, I thought it might be quite fun to do, just sort of travel around and have a bit of a break from all my TV work. Because TV I really loved it, and it is very intensive. You know, your life isn't your own, especially when you're working on a shoot. You just give up everything.
Yeah.
So you don't really have much of a personal life.
No.
And I just thought it'd be just nice to change that some way. And I thought, well, cabin crew would be good fun, just do it for a year.
And which airline was it?
With British Airways.
Oh, right.
So I applied, and
And you're still with British Airways?
Well, yeah, I didn't think I'd get the job. In fact, I nearly didn't even go for the interview. I was working on EastEnders at the time, and I nearly didn't go for the interview. And I thought, oh, well, I'll go. So I went, and I really wasn't that bothered whether I got the job or not.
So this is 20 years ago?
No, this was not far off, actually. So this was about 10 years ago. Yeah, it's about 10 years ago.
Right.
I got the job. I was kind of quite cheeky in the interview because I really wasn't that bothered whether I got it or not. You know, in a nice way, and we had a good banter. And actually, that I did find out in that week of interviews, they only took 2 people, me being one and another girl was another. It was quite hard to get in then, not so much now though. And yeah, and I vowed I'd only do it for a year, and everybody said, no, you'll do it for more than a year.
And you get all those travel concessions, of course.
Absolutely, yeah. So I've been doing that for 10 years, but I'm very part-time now. I go in like every other month.
Right, well, we'll continue talking about that in part 2. Thank you very much, Graham.
Okay.